Let the charm of the wild come to life through paper crafting. Hi, my name is Jen and I'm from Altenew, and I'm so excited to introduce this month's release, which is all about the animal kingdom and things that you'll find out in nature. It includes insects, animals, and the surrounding foliage and plants to go along with it. There really and truly is something for everybody, and I can't wait for you to check it out. So let's have Lydia show you the release a little bit closer.
Hello there everyone, and welcome to our November 2023 release full reveal video. First up, we have the Little Safari. So in this 6x8 stamp set, we have 3 generously sized animals as well as some really great sentiments. So we have the lion, the little giraffe, and also the elephant in here. Inside the packaging, we do have some inspiration on what you can do with these, but these would be great for all different kind of nursery themed cards or even child's cards as well. As well as that, we also have the die set available, which is going to cut out the 3 images that we have from the stamp set. As well as that, we also have the simple colouring stencil available. And in here, we have 4 6x6 stencils. They each have various parts of the animals that we have on the stamp set, so you can quickly and easily colour those in. Inside the packaging, we do have the layering guide available to show you how that they work with the stamps. We're sure that you are going to have so much fun creating little scenes with these animals, creating scrapbook pages, or even home decor. I have a little card here to show you. You can see that I've used the little lion from the stamp set, as well as a couple more products from this release. Next up, we have Bird of the Season. And in this 6x8 stamp set, we have 3 different birds. We have some leaf clusters, a wreath, and some beautiful sentiments as well. Inside the packaging, we do have the layering guide, and you can see that you are going to be able to use that wreath shape that we have and use the 2 different leaf clusters. So we have like holly leaves, and then we have more traditional leaves. We also have a little pear and some berries that you can add to the wreath as well. And then we have 3 different birds. We have a partridge, a little dove, and also a cardinal. As well as the stamp set, we also have the coordinating die set available. That's going to cut out the 3 birds that we have from the stamp set, as well as all of the sentiments too. I have a card to share using this product. You can see that I have used the fabulous little wreath as well as the little layered dove. I think this is so cute. Next up, we have the Midnight Moths. This is a 4x6 stamp set. On here, we have 4 different moths with various different degrees of little florals on there, as well as some leaves. A really great one to kind of mix and match some animals and flowers at the same time, but in a different way. We also have a number of different sentiments on there as well. As well as the stamp set, we do have the coordinating die set available, and that's going to cut out the 4 moths that we have on the stamp set. You could also use these as butterflies if you wish to. Here I have a card just using the stamped images. I did those in some heat embossing and then watercolored over the top. Next up, we have Joyous Sentiments. This is a 4x6 stamp set, and you can see that we do have a lot of great sentiments on here that can be used for the holiday season as well as beyond. We also have a number of different little snowflakes on there, a little parcel or package or present, as well as a little envelope as well. As well as the stamp set, we do also have the coordinating die set available, and that's going to cut out all of the little images that we have on the stamp set. I've just used one of the sentiments on this card to show you that you can use these sentiments throughout the year. Next up, we have another sentiment set. This is the classical greetings. This is fabulous. And we have lots of different sentiments on here. We have some larger ones and then also smaller kind of sub-sentiments that you can use on all of your projects. We do have some inspiration within the little packaging that we have there as well. As well as that, we do have the die set available, and that's going to cut out all of the large sentiments from the set. These sentiments are very varied, so they would work for all different occasions and throughout the year. Next up, we have a layering die set, and this is elephantastic. We have lots of different kind of pieces in this one to put together two different elephants. We have a larger one and also a baby, as well as the kind of cutting lines that we have on there. We do have lots of embossed details, so that's really gonna make these images come to life. As you can see here on this card, a lot of detail comes just from cutting and you don't need to do much else. Next up, we have gentle giraffes. Again, this is on the same lines as the one that we've just seen. So this is a layering die set. We do have all of those little cut lines as well as some embossed details on the face, which you can see here. This is a really easy one to put together and we are sure you're going to have so much fun with it. We do have a larger giraffe and then a baby as well on this one. Here you can see that I've just used both of them on a card and it's really quickly and easy to do. Next up, we have a picture frame die set. In here we have two different frames that looks like it's kind of bamboo around the outside edge, as well as three different leaf clusters as well. So you can kind of use that to decorate the frame, or you could use those on their own, completely up to you. I've used the smaller one of the frames to go around my little lion on here, and you can see just how well that works. Next up, we have a timeless sentiments die set. So in here we have a number of different sentiments. We have hello, thank you, you, love. We also have hugs and hello. And in here we do have two different dies for the same sentiment. We have one for the sentiment itself, and then we also have one for the shadow. So you can layer these up to get different looks. They are quite large, so they're not going to get lost on any card that you do add them to. And they could also work for scrapbook pages too. Next up, we have Honeycomb Daisies cover die. So in here we have a very beautiful kind of die that's going to cut the full front of an A2 card base, and it does go a little bit larger as well, so it's really easy to do. We have those die cut daisies as well as some dotted kind of honeycombs in this one to really add to the detail in this one here. This works perfectly for the front of cards and also adding layers. Next up, we have a hot foil plate set. This is the Floral Moths hot foil set. We do have two large moths as well as three sentiments. Now the moths in here are of the same kind of design as the Midnight moths that we have in the stamp set, but they are larger. So these would work perfectly with those to create a really complementary look if you worked with them together. I've just used one of the moths here to create this beautiful embellishment on this card. Next up, we have a charming Heliconia, and in here we have a 3D embossing folder. This is 6x6, and you can see that we have the embossing on one side and the debossing on the other side of the embossing folder. If I turn this around, you can see the effect that you are going to get when you do run that through your die cutting machine. Very, very pretty. And I love that it has all of the design on one side of the card. We also have the simple coloring stencil set for this one. It does have 5 6x6 stencils included, and it has various different parts of the flower and leaves on the different layers of the stencil. If we open up the packaging, you can see that we do have the layering guide, and to get the image that you can see on the top, you will use the embossing folder first and then use the coloring stencils to color in that embossed image. Really quick, easy to do, and it just looks stunning when it is finished. As you can see here, I do have a card. What I did is I embossed, colored with the simple coloring stencil, and then I added color to the background just using an artist marker. Next up, we have Whimsy Motif 3D embossing folder. This too has a coordinating simple coloring stencil. So you can see that we have this little simple whimsy floral cluster in the center of the 3D embossing folder. So within the floral cluster, we have more of a rose, a peony, and kind of a tulip-shaped flowers, as well as some really great looking curved leaves around them. As well as the 3D embossing folder, we do also have the simple colouring stencil set available. This one includes 4 different 6x6 stencils, which is going to colour various different portions of the embossed image. As usual, we do have the layering guide, the packaging, so you can see how the stencils are going to work perfectly with that 3D embossed image. This one's really easy to put together, and you can create all different colours for those flowers as well. They don't necessarily need to be the same colour. If you use a smaller blend tool, it will work perfectly. I do have a card featuring this one. Next up, we have another 3D embossing folder and simple colouring stencil combo. This is the Playful Leaves. You can see that we have that full background of simplified leaf branches, and it will cover the front of an A2 card base. The embossing folder itself is 6x6. So as well as that, we also have a simple colouring stencil. So this is the Playful Leaves simple colouring stencil, and this works perfectly with that 3D embossing folder. They will work perfectly by themselves as well, so don't feel that you need to get both if you don't want them. They do work perfectly singular as well. Next up, we have the Billowing Flower Press Plate. Now this works perfectly with the Better Press system from Spellbinders. You can see that we have this cute little flower here, as well as a sentiment. So we do get the sentiment and the flower separately. So you can kind of really play around with these with where you want them to be on your card, if you did want them to do them in different sections. So you can see that Better Press is going to give you that debossed look on your projects. Next up, we have another Better Press. This is the very pretty Hummingbird Nectar. On here, we get a large flower. We also get that little hummingbird, as well as a number of different sentiments. So you can see that we have 4 different sentiments there. And they do all come singly, so you can definitely play around with positioning of these. They don't necessarily need to be in the way that they look on the press plate. We now have another press plate, and this is absolutely huge. This flower is bigger than my hand, and it is really, really pretty. This is the Wild Daisies, and you can see just how big that is. We have that large image as well as 2 different sentiments. We have the large hello as well as the add-on sentiment. This would be great to use for home decor and scrapbook layouts. Last but not least in our press plates is the classical sentiments. You can see that we have this that matches with the stamp and die from before. These are the same size, so they will match perfectly with the die set if you have already got that with the stamp set. This works for all different occasions. The sentiments in here are beautiful, and I just love the font. You asked and we have delivered. We now have a new selection of organizational labels. So first up, we have some labels for the newest sets of markers. The one that I have here is the Mystic and Beach Garden Marker Topper label set, and you can see that we have all of the colours in there. We also have the Island and Space Garden marker set as well. So if you are looking for those and you have those missing from your collection, you may want to add those to your cart. These are such a great way to add some organization to your markers, and it's going to help you grab the right one first time. Next up, we have a new marker set, and this is for your ovals. So this is a complete set of all of the oval colors that we have, and you can see here that we have many sheets and many colors in here. So we have all of the colors in all of the ovals. We also have the additional kind of permanent and also the embossing ink for you there. If you need to label up your mini inks, we also have a full collection here. So we have all of the pinks, the oranges, the greens, the blues, the yellows, and the purples and greys. If you are anything like me and you have dropped your mini cubes and then struggled to find out which ink went with which top, this may be the collection for you. You can see here that we have many different sheets in this one, so you can label up all of your little mini ink cubes in a beautiful, colourful labels. If you have started to collect the fresh round pads, here is a label that you may want to get. This is the Blue Mountains, the Frosted Foliage, and also the Woodland Escape. You also get a number of different elements on the side that you can use for additional storage or to just make things pretty. In addition to the round ink pad labels, we also have the mini ink cubes and also the blending tools. Both of the blending brushes are on the blending brush sheet at the one at the top. So we have the small and the mini with all of the colours from the Blue Mountains, Frosted Foliage, and also Woodland Escape. And then at the bottom, I have the labels for the mini ink cubes too. If you like to add a little bit of colour to your blending tools on the other side of where the ink goes, we also have the small and the mini ink blending colours on here. You can see that we have many sheets. This is for the small ones. This is the one that comes in a pack of 4 in the little cube. And then we also have some additional kind of stickers on there too. And then we also have the ones for the minis. You can see that we have all of the colours on here. So you can now grab these labels for the mini and the small, whichever is your choice. We also have another set for the round fresh inks. This is the Sweet Dreams and also the Red Sunset. So these were the first kinds of transitional colours that we came up with, and you can now label your ink pads. We also have the full collection for the Amy Tangerine collab we did with the inks. So this is the Summer Sunrise and also the Ocean Dreams. So the first sheet that we have is the fresh ink in the circle pads, and then in the center we have all of the blending brush labels, and then this sheet here is for the mini inks. We also have some of Amy Tan's designs on there too. So last but not least, we also have the full collection for our Deco Garden inks. So in here you can see this first sheet, we do have the round labels. Then we have the labels for the little blending tools, as well as the ones for the small ink cubes too. So here is just a small peek at some of the inspirational cards that our designers and guest designers have made. We really do hope that you've seen something in here that inspires you and makes you want to create something beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye. Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!